9:30 for a Tuesday. We're in conversation. Bristol House Memory Care out in Warrington. That's right, on 2527 Bristol Road in Warrington. And the man who's heading it up, he's got all the information. That's Nate. How's it going out there, Nate?
Hey, it's going great. Thank you again for having us on the show today.
Yeah. I tell you, a lot's been going on, Nate. I mean, from the original show and sort of setting the groundwork, as it were, from the ribbon cutting and having staff and support staff talk about the Bristol House Memory Care. You're trying to create that culture, getting some energy working on. It seems to be working out so far. It's what are your impressions so far? Are you happy, or more to do, or where are you at right now?
Well, yes, very happy. I mean, this is a amazement of what we can do here. Other day, I was talking to a vendor of ours, and they said, Nate, you sound so confident in what you're selling. And I just sat back and noticed it. It was because I'm not selling BS. It's a difference when you're selling actually a great product to, the residents' family members. You build it in a way that, hey, listen, you're so confident that you can walk away from deals. And that's amazement. You're not pressured making that decision saying, hey, listen, we're going to give you some special discount of out the world because we need that resident in the building. I can literally sit there and say to the family members, if you want the best care, this is what it is. It's a different approach. It really is.
Yeah, well, it ain't bragging if you can do it, right? So, yeah. But you already get that one shot to make a first impression, and I'm sure you probably had many run-throughs, dry runs, how it would work, presentations. It just didn't happen by accident when it happened, right? When you had the families come in there, you were pretty well prepared. I'm sure you had to have a lot of preparation just for the main event. I'm sure you had many practice times or things like that, right? There was some training involved before the step, right?
Yeah. When we opened this building, I had a plan, and when you need to execute a plan, you need to have a great ownership that believes in your plan. And that's one of the things where I'm selling confidence, is because I have a great ownership behind me. And the way I built my team was, a lot of numbers, a lot of staff, a lot of strong people that go the extra mile. So we built a team that, from the gate, trusts each other. And, we're not all perfect. When one fails, we all pick each other up. And that's, right. That's kind of a system that I'm hoping that stays in place forever and always.
Right.
Building a business, you have to have a plan, and you have to have execution of the plan. And then you have to change some things up sometimes. It does happen.
Oh, you make adjustments along the way all the time, but you're always talking about communication in a small town or small house feel, and having that, you can add that lines of communication, so you can really take care of some issues right there on the spot. So you're right on top of everything at all times, and I'm sure that's no accident either, right?
No, yeah. So, like I said, I explained to the POAs and the residents and the staff members, communication is how I win, how I build a successful business. If I don't know anything, I can't help you. So when a family member comes up to me, even if the littlest concern, I want to hear about it, because there's a way that I can explain it to the family member. Maybe they're seeing it from a different angle, and I'm seeing it from a different angle. But the way I talk to them might break it down, and we can get all back on the same page. So, same thing with the staff. Maybe the staff, sometimes, has a stressful day. So I try to teach them in a way that, hey, listen, this is a stressful industry. It's not easy, but these are the ways we can cope with it. A lot of studies and a lot of backup with that, and trying to figure out, okay, listen, if we don't have that communication, we don't have anything.
Right. Access to staff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't leave much to the imagination there. But you've had some families that moved in. We've had some testimony of some of the relatives, and they're very impressed with the way things are going. And one of the things, they felt very confident about the way things were going and what you were doing, and really kind of saying, hey, it was a lot easier moving in and getting acclimated than I thought. Is that a fair assessment right now?
Oh, yes, it's a great assessment. Like I said, I have great communication with the families here. It's amazement of stories that I'm bringing here. I know you guys heard stories like the Bruno and Emily stories.
Right.
I have other families that are trying to come on and, just trying to figure out their schedules. We'll get them on sooner or later. But I wanted to tell you a little story today that happened. I walk up in the building. It's around 9:05 a.m. I'm trying to prepare for the radio station, obviously. And a resident wanted me to talk to her. So now I have a decision to make. It's, do I get prepared for the radio station or do I help the resident? So I went to the resident. The resident was explaining how, she just moved in over the weekend. She's lonely. She wants people to talk to her, and these are all, the emotions of a dementia resident. So I talked to her. I explained to her. I said, hey, listen, I'm here for you. Anything that you need, I'll do it with you. You want to do activity right now? We can do it. So we played a little game, a little bit of balloons. So like I said, it's stories like that I think eventually other families that need this service understand that I'm much more than a one-trick pony.
Right. Right. And a little goes a long way is what you're saying. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. Okay. 215-491-1501 is the contact number with Nate to get a tour, complimentary lunch, get to find the layout there, very intimate, 215-491-1501. I was really impressed, Nate, when you promoted this woman, and she was administrative, but you found something in her that maybe others had missed as far as being on the team. Are you looking for something specific when the staff is hired? Are you looking for something that might be a little hard to find or off the board a little bit? What are you looking for?
Yeah, like I said, a lot of people do their interview process a lot different. Maybe, I'm not a trained, skilled interview person. The first things that I want to see is, do they have the passion, do they have heart, and do they have the will to work? And are they willing to listen and learn? A lot of things can't be, a lot of things can be taught, but the three things that you can't teach is a person's heart. And when I saw Sarah, she had a will in her that you don't find very often. So it's one of the things where I said, hey, listen, if I can teach her as much as I know, and she's willing to go the extra mile every single day, wow, she would be amazing as resident care coordinator.
Yeah.
And every day she came in, the same attitude, residents first, and we, listen, I promoted her. I know a lot of people in this industry that wouldn't have touched her because of her resume. And, listen, I understand the reasons behind it, but what you can't teach is heart, compassion, and the will to, go the extra mile.
Right.
So you have to take risks sometimes.
Right. Growth potential there. You got to look beyond that. That's pretty good. We're with Nate and talking about Bristol House Memory Care and all the good stuff that's going on out there. House Memory Care focusing on supporting residents' physical and mental needs in a big-time environment, which seems to be working thus far, and we'll come right back after this.
Welcome. Bucks County's newest state-of-the-art memory care facility for Alzheimer's and dementia care is Bristol House. Located in Warrington, Pennsylvania, it is designed to provide residents personal space for their well-being. 2 24-room communities with a private suite, bathroom, family room, and kitchen. All meals, snacks, activities, and therapies are included. Call today at 215-491-1501 for your tour today. Bristol House, Bucks County's newest Alzheimer's and dementia care facility.
That's right, and we're on the line with Nate. And one of the things you've been selling, Nate, is the food. What's on the menu for today, huh? Can you? What's going on out there on the menu that's appetizing?
Yeah, so today we have a special spaghetti and sausage. The way the cook does it is a little bit different. He adds a little bit more culture flavor to it. It's amazing what they're willing to try back there. Some like I said, not all these, it doesn't work all the time. Don't get me wrong, but at least they're trying something different and giving the opportunity to the residents to taste different foods.
Yeah.
We always have backup options if it doesn't work. Don't get me wrong, we do have an always available menu. So it's one of those things where you got to be willing to say, hey, listen, what does the residents like? And what can we try different and maybe, it would be a big success.
Maybe a happy hour in a bar, maybe that might work out. What do you think? No.
Yeah, there you go.
My
We
mother.
do actually have mixed cocktails, not alcoholic, but fruity, and it looks really nice. So
yeah, you sort of you do make it kind of like a bar setup, and just like the outside world going on there. And yeah, it's every once in a while maybe you get a good idea from a resident or somebody that's moved in. The family member said, "Hey, this might work too. I wonder if anybody's ever had the old suggestion box or anything like that they might have an idea or two to work
I
on
always
as well."
tell them, suggestion boxes, come talk to me, and I'll try to make it work.
Yeah. What has been the I know that one of the things you were talking about, Nate, the last time was the privacy and the suites and the closet and the storage space and private baths. Are you getting any reaction on that front of people moving in? Well, wow, it's maybe a little bigger than I thought it was, or has there been some action there? Some people excited about that.
Yeah, I would say people are amazed on the bathroom sizes. Like they look at it and they say, "Wow, it's handicap accessible. The whole building's handicap accessible." But the rooms in itself, like I said, it's a good sized room, but a great sized bathroom. And we build it that way because we don't want the residents always in their room anyways. We want them doing activities, get going. But when they need to go to the bathroom, we want them to have, their privacy, so they can do it in their room instead of sharing it, in a common area bathroom.
Right. Yeah, and you got a lot on the plate there too to keep the process rolling. I know that you're constantly being vigilant, and yeah, it does get down to some serious issues too. With the I imagine a family would be concerned. How do we work the medications and make sure it's on schedule to make sure we don't miss anything? That certainly would be a concern that you're addressing all the time. Is the management of the medications that are given out? I mean, we're all on. I'm on a few myself, and I got to manage it myself. But being at Bristol House, you're going to have to step in there and manage it for them, right?
Yeah, so I mean, we handle everything in that aspects of medication management. Our nursing staff is always looking into it, making sure. Okay, listen, the residents having like a off day, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the reasons have to maybe do with medication. So they'll maybe go out and do a UTI check first. Then they'll maybe check the medications. They're always working with the doctors on hand,
right?
And the nurse practitioner. So. We have a solid nursing system here, which, like I said, for a 12-resident community right now, I think it's very powerful. We have 2 nurses. We have doctors that come in once a week. But if they need to come in, they'll come in extra. It's not like they're just, one time a week, no matter what the caseload is.
Right.
Once the caseload gets bigger, they're going to be in here probably 2 times a week, 3 times a week. They're willing to meet families. They take probably 98% of everybody's insurances, which is a big plus for us. Coming from other facilities, sometimes their restrictions on insurances can, cost a resident not having a placement here.
Right. Yeah, you've been also in the as we've been talking here the past couple of weeks about getting some inquiries, making it available, advertising about it, and then you say we're making assessments. What exactly an assessment when you do a tour? What exactly goes into your assessment, Nate, when you're gathering information?
Yeah, so we'll have the family come out and do a tour. If they like the building, we go out and assess the resident, and that could be them coming to our facility or us going to their home, or sometimes we have to go to the hospital because they're at the hospital. And we really dive into their whole life history, from medical to the person. We're checking how can they stand, can they move, can they pivot, can they do this exercise, can they do that. We're really diving into everything. Sometimes I've been around people that do assessments. It takes them 10 minutes. To me, assessment really needs to be a good 45 to an hour and a half. And sometimes you want to come back for the second day. To really truly understand a resident, you have to spend time with them, and it can't just be 10 minutes. So our assessments, we go really dive into it, and we really want to build that relationship with the resident. We want them to trust us before coming in here.
Yeah, I can.
And a lot of times, a lot of times, I've already done that. Like the recent, moving that came in here, when she had her first feeling lonely, she was asking for me. Not because, hey, listen, I've been doing this for a while. It's because I care. It's because I showed her that I'm willing to come back the second time. I'm willing to talk to you. I'm willing to do these things. And that's what you really should try to do at the assessment is get their trust, figure out a game plan for the family and for the resident, and really execute it to the best of your ability. That's what these facilities should always do.
Right. I do. Yeah. Do families interact with other families and get sort of trade notes a little bit? Does that happen at all?
Oh yes. We have great families here, and the community of the families here are really good. They support each other. They talk to each other. So, like I said, always staying, with the communication with the families. POAs are critical because imagine if I didn't have that, and they were going around talking to other family members. Hey, listen, this guy Nate has no communication skills. It wouldn't be a good thing.
Trash talking out there. We don't want any of that. Yeah. But I was always amazed too, having my mother deal with this, with the dementia and Alzheimer's, and you see what the other residents, and a lot of times you see their resume and pictures and what they did in life and their job and their families, and you find out how they were motivated, and you find out a lot more about them, and what they always talked about was when they were working, right, when they were making a living, selling insurance, or teaching school, or maybe they worked in the medical field or whatever, but talking about their work experiences and trading those kind of stories, that always seems to be a common thread there about what they did in life. They were very successful in raising their families and providing for them, and that shouldn't be discounted how successful they were at one time, and that's trying to maybe recapture some of that in talking about it. Yeah. Does that help?
So sometimes you build activities for the stuff that I used to work for. So I used to have a post office guy that, worked all of his life in post office. And what I used to do with him, I would give him fake mail. And the fake mail would get delivered to the residents. And he's doing his job.
Nice. Yeah, you put him to work. That's a good. That's a great idea to sort of. That's part of the physical thing too, right? The physical activity of that's something they can remember or focus on, right? Or something they like to do. That's really good. Kind of like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, we have night guards sometimes, and they stay up at night. So what I tell them is, hey, listen, you have a job right now. We just protect the building.
There you go.
And they'll go walk around and get their exercise, and they're actually really happy about what they're doing.
Yeah, there's a feeling of being wanted or being needed, right? That's the way to go.
Yep.
All right, Bristol House Memory Care. We're talking with Nate. You get a complimentary lunch and a tour. You give them the phone number, 215-491-1501. Get them on the web, www.bristolhousememorycare.com, and we're coming right back.
Welcome. Bucks County's newest state-of-the-art memory care facility for Alzheimer's and dementia care is Bristol House. Located in Warrington, Pennsylvania, it is designed to provide residents personal space for their well-being. 2 24-room communities with a private suite, bathroom, family room, and kitchen. All meals, snacks, activities, and therapies are included. Call today at 215-491-1501 for your tour today. Bristol House, Bucks County's newest Alzheimer's and dementia care facility.
And we're in conversation with Nate out at Bristol House. He's on site right there. Is there a certain Nate? Is there a certain phase that you go through that here's our pre-planning? Here's now we have residents here. Now does it shift to some other things that are going on now that you have a game plan to work on?
Oh yes. So right now, I'd say we're at our 25%. Mark, and with being 25%, you take a look back and you figure out what worked and what didn't work. So for the next 25%, you're going to say, okay, listen, now we know what works and what doesn't work, and now it's time to get better, even better than before, which I thought we did amazing. But I don't want to be just an average person or average community here. I want to be the greatest that does memory care. And the only way you get to that point is figuring out your biggest weaknesses and your biggest failures, and then trying to put it in a better way to get it better every single day.
Right.
It's a routine, and you're just building the right staff, you're building the right people, and sometimes you hire a knucklehead or two, but you don't hold on to them. That's a lot of times I feel like communities and businesses do the wrong way is, you hold on to the bad people. If they don't want to be there, don't let them be there.
Right.
You need caring people.
Yeah, but they usually wind up disqualifying themselves. Most people fire themselves in real life anyway. But I was going to ask too that you got an on-site owner right there, so you get that direct communication. How is his impressions, Arwen? How's that been going in your relationship there, and some of his reactions? He's paying the freight there. So what is his thoughts right now?
Yeah, so like I said, you always start off as he doesn't know me, I don't know him, right? Mm-hmm. We started off pretty strong. Don't get me wrong, but he's trying to figure out my best abilities. I'm trying to figure out his best abilities. Right. It's a partnership that works every single day. Yeah. Me and Arvin, I can't speak highly, of him. He is a person that will let you do what your vision is. And if it's working, why break it? That's Arvin's mindset.
Right.
He sees the families in here every single day. He talks to the families. If the family says, hey, listen, this is not a good service, he's right there to listen to it. And then, if that happens, I don't have a job. It's that simple. But it's one of those, partnerships that, hey, listen, having him in the building is a great asset for me because, like I said, he's willing to actually help with the residents. He's not your owner that sits behind the scenes and says, hey, listen, Nate, I just cut the checks. You make everything happen. Yeah. He, like I said, I do mostly the planning and everything like that, but he has a big part of how I bring these families in. Right. Families love seeing him. So it's one of those things where, hey, listen, most people probably don't want their owner right next to them because maybe they're scared to do business like that. Where I'm saying it's great for business.
Yeah. You feel confident enough that you wouldn't be blowing smoke. If you had something to say, you could say it honestly, and if he had something to say critical, you could take it. You have that kind of maybe a blunt a relationship, tell it like it is kind of relationship. Both looking for.
I think the best thing of business relationships is not hiding stuff. If he thought I was perfect, he'd be out of his mind. And if I thought he was perfect, I'd be cuckoo too. So just trying to work on our weaknesses together. Like I said, this radio station wasn't my cup of tea. I'd be completely honest with you. But he saw something in me and said, hey, listen, you can do it. You're not going to be the perfect radio person, but you're going to bring the message out there that we care, and we're a great building, and we have a great service going on here. Yeah, well, and I'm hoping that, he's understanding that that's what we're going to do here.
Yeah, well, you're talking about yourself and how you promote yourself, and you're very confident. It does come through on the air. You're talking about what you do know, and also, if something maybe you don't know, then you find out, right? So, like you say, you make adjustments. You investigate. You implement. You're always in constant change. But it looks like you have the original model there of the small. We're not trying to bite off more than you can chew. Also, keep it rather intimate. You said the communication is the key. Ratio of patient to staff is high as well. So that's sort of your foundation right there. I know you're safety conscious as certainly you would be, but those are the kind of elements that you're looking to build. I would say, Nate, that one-on-one and that communication and being accessible all the time. If you can do that, you're well on your way to being very successful.
Yeah, and we build it in a way that we can do it that way. Mm-hmm. We're not too big a community. Like I said, I used to run a 120-bed facility and an 80-bed facility at the same time. And to be honest with you, for me to be able to do what I'm doing here is impossible. Mm-hmm. So here, for 48 residents, this is fairly easy for me. And the way that I'm going to build this is the way I can actually get involved with the residents. I don't have to be behind a desk. We have a business office manager. We have, support in the management where I don't have to be a paper pusher, and I can actually see what's going on. I can talk to the family and say, hey, listen, I know what that family is. I had one time a family member come up to me, and she's like, I don't know if you know my, mom, but she's in. I said, no, hold on for a second. I said, I know all about your mom. I don't need to say, oh, well, let me look at my census sheet and hope that I know who that is.
Right.
I know who everybody is. So it's one of those things where, if the POAs understand that you know about their mom or their dad or their loved ones, they feel a lot more confident in putting them in a place like this and staying in a place like this.
Right.
So.
Yeah. One of the things too, before we go, I wanted to ask you about the therapies. Have you witnessed some of the therapy sessions? Like you say, there's music therapies. Have you been on site and watched some of the activities in motion or in play? Have you seen any of that?
Well, actually, I don't watch. I actually do the activities.
Oh, you do them? Okay.
Yeah, so, like I said, it's one of those things I want my supervisors to understand that, we can take an hour or 2 hours out of our week to join these activities to actually see what works and see what doesn't work. But, yeah, so we have great motion sensory therapies, food sensory. We have, everything, a wide range of exercise to balloons, therapy. Everything you can think of when it comes to activities, we try to do here.
Yeah. And have you had movie nights and things like that? Is that a possibility too? Movies? I mean,
of course. Old time movies.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we put them on, and they'll come out there, and you'll see about like say 7 out of our 12 residents actually love that event. And like you said, it's one of those things where, hey, listen, let's just relax for today.
Yeah, I was found out too. My mother used to watch that, but then would start talking and then quoting from the movies. That would get her talking. So that was also. I remember that John Wayne film. That was 1948. That kind of stuff. So yeah, that was Red River. And then she starts talking, and that really sparks the conversation. And those are the things that maybe you'd be shooting for as well. So yeah, it's been great. As we wrap up here, do you have an event that's just coming up that you'd like to promote before we go here?
Oh yes, we do have a support group on the 10th of this month. Coming up at 6:30 to 7:30.
Okay.
It's for families. The doctor actually will be there, and they'll be discussing dementia and helping the families understand it more.
Right. That's 2 days from now. That's Thursday. It's 8th to 10th.
Yep.
Right? 6:30 to 7:30, and yes, things are starting to really get rolling out there at Bristol House. It's in Warrington, not very far. It's on 2527 Bristol Road. And the number for more information, you get right to Nate himself, 215-491-1501 and www.bristolhousememorycare.com. You can find out all about what's going on at Bristol House and get a tour and a complimentary lunch and some great information, and some decisions can be made, right, my friend?
Oh, yes. Thank you for having me, and thank you, everybody and families.
Thank you, Nate, for all the information, and good luck. And we'll talk again next week and hope to have some more good stories to tell.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bristol House Memory Care. You're with us, 9:30 Tuesdays here on WBCB.